Memories of a storied career and a lot of pride on the walls in Mike Garland's home.
Yeah, it tells quite a story of what I've done over the last 25 years of being here.
He calls Tom Izzo his best friend. Their friendship goes all the way back to the 1970s when they were basketball teammates at Northern Michigan University.
I'm here because of a promise that I made to him. That, one day, you know, he said one day I'm going to be a big-time coach and I need you to come and help me.
Over the years, these friends and their hearts turned boys into men and teams into champions.
After we won the national championship, Muhammad Ali invited us to his house for his son's birthday.
Really? Then there was the first ever basketball game on an aircraft carrier and meeting President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama.
And then we talked just like we're talking, and in the end, we all took a picture together.
A rewarding life that in August, just 2 weeks into retirement, ended without any warning.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
I had a car accident. Where am I at? College Road and Holt Road.
Garland was driving to the bank with his wife when the electrical system in his heart failed. It's called VFib, and without help right away, it's deadly.
I see the tree, and I'm like, oh my God, we're getting ready to hit a damn tree. And then after that, it was just like, the airbag came out so fast. And then I look over at him, and he's slumped. So I'm like, no, this can't be happening. So I'm speaking to God like, this is our latter days. He just retired, you know. So how can you take him from me now? And they came up right at that moment, and he answered my prayer. He brought the angels.
The angels, Jason Blackwell and John Drolette. Blackwell was the first to stop and call 911.
His eyes are open and he's not conscious.
All right, we need to start CPR, sir. Can you get him on the ground, flat on his back?
Two strangers working together to bring Garland back. Blackwell breathing into Garland's lungs, Drolette pumping his heart until sheriff's deputies took over.
All right. Okay, get that BVM out. I don't have a pulse.
With Garland showing no signs of life, deputies continue CPR and use a defibrillator to try to get his heart beating. 8 minutes into the response, Garland is still not breathing on his own.
Adam 5-8, we got one shock delivered with an AED. Time now. Go ahead, go.
Are we on?
Yep.
Keep going up.
Clear, clear, clear.
Okay.
Shock.
Thank you.
Yep. Adam 5-8, second shock advised, administered. Time now.
Medics give Garland another shock to the heart, and they're off to the hospital. Garland spent more than 24 hours on a ventilator. When he woke up, doctors told him it is amazing he's alive.
One of the doctors in the hospital said, if you had millions of dollars and you knew that this was going to happen to you, and you lined everything up to protect yourself, he said, I don't know if it could still work out for you.
Even the doctor said if we had been at home, he probably wouldn't have made it.
But he did, because within seconds, two men stopped, stepped up, and took action. 3 weeks later, Garland is still recovering, but feeling good enough to see a special visitor.
You're looking a lot better than the last time I saw you.
I bet. Oh, boy. Oh, man. It's really good to see you.
It's good to see you, too.
Appreciate it, man. As I was told, a lot of people drove right by me. And,
Yeah.
you know, you could have did the same, but you chose not to. You chose to be a decent human being.
I'm convinced that there's millions of people out there that would jump in to do what I did and what Jason Blackwell did in this situation. They just haven't been presented the opportunity. We were.
You know you're a good person. You believe you're a good person. People tell you you're a good person. But when you do this kind of good, you can't feel any better. It's not possible.
A lot of pride, and for Coach Tom Izzo, a grateful heart.
It was like a group of teams, and they all worked so well together. And in that video, you can see one passing the baton to the other, who passes it to the other. It was amazing. It made me feel good about our world that I don't often feel good about lately.
Joseph Panlos, how are you?
Hello, nice to meet you.
I was. Yeah.
With a new appreciation for life and a heart known for building championship teams, Mike Garland wanted to meet the team of people who never gave up on him. The champions of his heart, each and every first responder, from the 911 operator to the doctors and nurses.
It took teamwork, and it's what I call maximum execution. So good to see you. That's what Michigan State basketball program has been about, and that's what happened that saved my life.
We know the video we shared in this story is upsetting, yet it is powerful. Mike Garland felt it was important for us to show it because it reveals humanity at its finest. It is a lesson for all of us to stop and help our fellow man, and we thank him for being brave enough to share his story with us.
Wow, what
We've seen the images of Patrick Lioya running from a Grand Rapids police officer before that officer shot him to death. And the recent shooting outside a Meijer store in East Lansing, showing officers firing at a man in a busy parking lot. Cases where the officers find themselves at the center of the investigation.
Something's down. Roll EMS.
It makes me feel bad. It shows me that there's room for improvement in our law enforcement.
All right, sir. I'm warrant for your arrest. Put your hands out to your side.
Reginald Tyson wants to be a part of that improvement. He's a junior at Waverly High School and just completed his first year in the Ingham Intermediate School District's law enforcement program. The program immerses students in a police academy setting.
I've pulled over a white Chevy Impala in front of the Wilson Talent Center.
They are the officers, learning how to handle everything from a traffic stop to when it's appropriate to use deadly force.
Let's go do this.
The important thing is to make sure you know how to de-escalate correctly and how to calm yourself down so you don't make a mistake that would put someone else's life at risk.
When I open this door, you're going to come out, face the car.
That means using other tactics on a use of force continuum, with firing a gun the last option.
I was fortunate that not only did me and the people that were working with me at that time make the right decisions, but even though there were some close calls with guns pointed at us and such, I never had to use my gun to take someone's life.
He came home from Vietnam, and the first thing he wanted when he got home was a steak dinner. And the minute he walked outside, somebody spat in his face. And as a little 8-year-old, I just couldn't understand why anybody would do that.
That feeling stuck with Alice. When she was just 13 years old, she started a statewide fundraising campaign to send Michigan Vietnam veterans to Washington. As the state president of the Children of the American Revolution, she recruited other groups to help, selling MIA and POW bracelets, collecting bottles and cans, and holding yard sales.
It makes me very emotional just because I've seen how these veterans react when they're finally thanked for their service and welcomed home. And this on just such a massive scale is really, really emotional for me, and I'm sure everybody.
They raised more than $140,000, enough to pay for the entire trip.
I don't even have words to express how grateful we all are for her to do that.
When the veterans return to Kalamazoo, they will each get this special coin to remember their trip to Washington, a trip for many which is their last chance to see the memorials that honor their service and sacrifice.
I've been around the world but never been to Washington, D.C. And yes, it will be something I'll treasure forever. I think everyone should go to the memorials at least once in their lifetime.
I am so happy. I mean, it's such a pleasure coming to see the setup for veterans. We didn't have anything like this when we got home, and to see what they're doing here is just makes you feel good that people do appreciate what you did.
The Children of the American Revolution Yellow Ribbon Honor Flight leaves tomorrow morning from Kalamazoo. The veterans will take part in a wreath laying at Arlington National Cemetery, then on to the National Mall. They'll receive the Vietnam War commemorative pin during a special pinning ceremony at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial.